In today's video, we're playing my favorite Pioneer deck, Lotus Field Combo, but we're also going to discuss the build that I don't play with Sturm Proctor. Let's go check it out. This is the build that we will be playing today. It's actually really close to the list that I played in my previous video. You can find that one in the card above. The main deck is identical, has not changed. I'm a really big fan of having 4 copies of Impulse, here it is, and 4 copies of Archdruid's Charm. A lot of lists are playing 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. We're playing 4 and 4. I'm choosing to play 1 less land. It went really well in that last video, hoping to do it again today. So what did change is in the sideboard, we're playing a 4th copy of Leyline of Sanctity. That's because the red-black Vampires deck has gained in popularity, but on top of that, the 4th most popular deck, according to MTG Goldfish as of the recording of this video, is Mono Black Discard, with 4 main deck go blank. And well, if discard decks are going to be that popular, we want the Leyline of Sanctity, so we're going to increase that amount. We're cutting the Krenko's Buzz Crusher from the sideboard. You don't really need it for the Lotus Field Mirrors, so I think it should be fine. So that is what we're playing today. What we're not playing, Strict Proctor. So I admittedly tried to record a video with this 3 weeks ago roughly, and it went terribly. So in the first video I went 0 and 4, and in the second video I went 1 and 4. And one of the biggest problems was Strict Proctor itself. This thing requires it to live, so it dies to Fatal Push, all of the removal spells out of the Izzet Phoenix deck, and it just was never that great for me. The upside of Sturm Proctor is, let's say you play it on turn 3, and then you immediately play your Lotus Field. Okay, so now you have Lotus Field in play, you don't have to sacrifice your lands, and if your opponent plays something like a Damping Sphere, you have the mana to use Beseiju and have Lotus Field untapped, so it's better against hate. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. I could see why this could be good. I get it. And you can in fact just play multiple Lotus Fields so you don't need the Thespian stages often. Yeah, I like that too. But it just dies so often. It's also really good against one of your worst matchups, being the Amalia combo deck. Alright, another thing I like. Well, in practice, it just didn't play out like that. So that was one of the biggest problems I had, is Strict Proctor just dying or not achieving its goals or making you just a little bit slower. One of the matches that I lost was against red-green midrange, where I was just a turn too slow, where if I had an Arboreal Grazer in my deck, that would have been a match victory. So there's just a number of things that didn't go well with Strict Proctor, and I just decided that this version of the deck wasn't for me. Another thing is that in order to support playing white, you can't play Surveil lands or Scry lands or anything like that. You lose some of your utility lands, like you're only playing 1 Otawara. So there are trade-offs, and it just didn't feel worth it. So instead today, I'm just going to play the list that I like with Arboreal Grazer. Not to mention the fact that you get to still play the Lair of the Hydra, so that way you're not dead to Necromentia or things like that. So this build, in my opinion, is just better. It's not a knock at anyone who plays the Strict Proctor builds or works on them. I wish you nothing but the best, but for me, it did not work. So we're going to play a list that does work for me instead, which would be the one in front of you. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I'd love to hear from you, but for now, we're going to hop on in and play some Pioneer Magic the Gathering. I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, and we're on the play. Let's do it. Yeah, this hand is amazing. We will keep. This is the sort of hand that you sign up for when you play this deck. Unfortunately, we don't have an untapped green source on the first turn, but on the second turn, we're guaranteed a Arboreal Grazer in a Lotus Field. We have the Sylvan Scrying to get a different copy of Thespian Stage to set up our land combo, and then from there we have Hidden Strings into Pore over the pages. So, potential turn 3, turn 4 win. I'm going to keep this Botanical Sanctum, which seems a little bit odd, but it guarantees my ability to have a turn 3 copy of Thespian Stage on Lotus Field. And I can always use the Sylvan Scrying to go grab like a Otawara or Beseiju or whatever. Sleight of hand on the first turn tells me that this is likely Izzet Phoenix. We'll play Botanical Sanctum, Arboreal Grazer. Just put the Lotus Field right on the table. Boom. Pass that turn. They play Steam Vents into a Ledger Shredder. So this is in fact Izzet Phoenix. Archdruid's Charm, another good draw. But we're just going to copy our land and try to win on the fourth turn. Could have been a turn 3 win if we had drawn into a second copy of Hidden Strings or a Vizier of Tumbling Sands. They begin their turn with a Consider. Arclight Phoenix to the graveyard. Good thing for them. And now a second copy of Consider. They do get the Connive trigger from the Ledger Shredder. Okay. They have an untapped Steam Vents as their third land. One more spell will give them a Phoenix here. And they do have a copy of Opt. So once they'll go to their attack step, the Arclight Phoenix will come back. And now they can attack for 5. We'll block the Ledger Shredder. And we'll go to 17 life. Now we should be able to party. Another Sylvan Scrying, okay. Let's make some blue mana, cast Pore over the pages. Untap, untap. We'll discard a Sylvan Scrying. Make some more blue mana. And let's try another copy of Pore over the pages. The Shredder will trigger. And we hit Bala Ged Recovery, 2 more lands. Okay. I think we probably want to discard a Thespian Stage here. Tap for green mana. I'm going to pick up the Pore over the pages. And then we'll cast it. Wow. Holy lands, Batman. Okay. So we can discard the Sylvan Scrying. Play Botanical Sanctum. And now, if I Hidden Strings for... Actually, could I do Archdruid's Charm into Lier? So we'd have 4 mana, 8 mana. 8 is enough to win. Okay, so we'll do Archdruid's Charm. We'll cast it searching out the Lier, Disciple of the Drowned from our deck. So we'll cast it. Go grab Lier. And then we will Hidden Strings. Targeting our 2 copies of Lotus Field. Yes, yes, no. Add some more mana. Play the Lier. And this should be enough to get the job done. And if it's not, oh well. So now we'll Hidden Strings again. This time we'll say yes, yes, and yes. Because if you don't cipher, it's just wasted. So you might as well because it's kind of free. That is only applicable to the flashback. And now we'll Pore over the pages again. Wow. Okay. So we're hitting the land section of our deck. That's wonderful. We will Pore over the pages again. Dark Petition's not a bad one. Discard a Sylvan... I guess we have a couple... We have things for the Spell Mastery. We could probably just discard another land. We found a Fae of Wishes. Let's Dark Petition. Go grab Hidden Strings. Okay, they're going to just concede. Alright, so we can go to the next game. My plan was to Hidden Strings, Fae of Wishes, and then go get the Emergent Ultimatum out of the sideboard, or you could flashback the Dark Petition and get the Emergent Ultimatum that way. A lot of ways to skin that cat. Alright, so we'll bring in our copies of Silence, bring out the Arboreal Grazer. So there's a question of, do you want to leave in 1 Grazer when you're playing Lair of the Hydra? And I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do. You could also bring in the Dramoka, which is what I would recommend against the Counterspell deck. I think relying on Lair of the Hydra is okay. You just have to be cognizant of the fact that you don't want to play your land if you don't have to. Another thing you could do, if you need to win with Lair of the Hydra, is just put it into play off of the Archdruid's Charm, which means that the Arboreal Grazer matters even less nowadays. But if you draw the Lair first, it's not an option. You have to search it out with the Archdruid's Charm. So just pointing that out there, that it is another option to win. That is, if you don't want to win with the Chandra Hope's Beacon line for whatever reason. Okay, game number 2, we're on the draw, and I will keep. This hand is great. We do have to find a opportunity to resolve this Archdruid's Charm, but I'm sure that we'll have, a window here or there. Turn 1, sleight of hand, you've got it. Another copy of Thespian Stage, we'll play out the Botanical Sanctum and pass. Turn 2, Steam Vents into Ledger Shredder. Good start. Lier. All right, we'll play out the Besiju and pass. So a fear that I have with the way that this game is developed is that our draws were not great. We didn't need another Thespian stage. We didn't need to draw Lier. And I didn't draw an untapped green source. What we can do is use Thespian stage to copy Botanical Sanctum, but that takes an entire turn off. And I'm worried about that. And it looks like our opponent's going to respect us here and leave open mana. I'm going to just play the Thespian stage and pass, even though I drew the Sylvan Scrying. So the plan here is still setting up Archdruid's Charm, which might seem a little bit odd, and I understand. But right now, I want to copy my Botanical Sanctum, which is priority number 1. And then after that, we want to try to resolve this Archdruid's Charm, and playing Sylvan Scrying into counter magic isn't the best idea. They pick up an Opt. Okay. So what we can do is set up a turn where I'm going to Archdruid's Charm, it gets countered, and then we'll untap and Sylvan Scrying. And that way, no matter what, we end up finding our Lotus Field. A second copy of Ledger Shredder. And consider. So they're going to give me the opportunity to go find my Lotus Field by the looks of it. We'll copy the Sanctum. Arclight Phoenix, okay. And a Treasure Cruise. Then you would need 2 more instants or sorceries this turn to bring back the Phoenix, so that will not be happening. Hidden Strings, that's a good one. We'll play the Sylvan Scrying. Go grab a Lotus Field. Play it. Pass the turn. And if they tap out again, we can attempt to win. So our opponent needs to decide what is the priority for them in this game. Is it Arclight Phoenix? Or do you have it all? Can you do everything you want to do here? Another Free the Fae. Mystical Dispute, negate Spell Pierce. Holy moly. They pick up a Mystical Dispute this time. And they'll attack for 4. I'll go to 13. Vizier was a perfect draw. Wow. Okay. So what we're going to do is pass the turn. On their end step, we're going to double copy Lotus Field. And the Vizier made this happen. Because the Lotus Field makes 3 mana. We can copy the Lotus Field going down to 1 mana. But then you're 1 mana short of being able to copy again, and that's where the Vizier comes in by generating a mana. So we'll untap next turn with 9 mana. Alright, the Shredders are going to get a little bit bigger here. So they'll go up to 3 power. They discard Mystical Dispute, and a Sleight of Hand. They go straight to combat, so it doesn't look like they have lethal. On the end step, we will cycle Vizier. Alright, so we've generated that 1 blue mana. Now we'll tap for a couple more. We'll copy our Lotus Field. And we'll copy again. And now with 9 mana, we have Dromoka Protection as well. So they'd have to have exactly Aether Gust in hand to stop us here. We draw an Impulse. Let's try Dragonlord Dromoka. They have it. They have the Aether Gust. Wow. Okay. Unfortunate. That can just go on the bottom. If I cast another spell, I'm dead. They discarded a Mystical Dispute, so we know that they have more counter magic in hand. I'm dead if Ledger Shredder triggers. Oh, hold on. Turn off auto yields. Alright, I'm dead if Ledger Shredder triggers again. So we have to pass and hope that their entire hand is interaction. We'll put that on the bottom. And it is not. We can go to game number 3. Okay. So they found the Aether Gust. It did stop us there, unfortunately. And we're just going to resubmit and try to win, with the same 75. On the play for the 3rd game. Alright, we'll try it. It's a little bit risky. Botanical Sanctum, pass the turn. Steam Vents into Sleight of Hand. We draw a Pore over the pages. Not a card we need in this phase of the game. We'll cast an Impulse. Otawara here doesn't cast the Archdruid's Charm, but I think it's better than everything else we have going on, so I'll take it. Hull of Storm Giants. Come on, untapped green mana. Pretty please. Let's see it. Stage. Honestly, that's not terrible. I'm going to play the stage, and it's a little bit crazy. I'm going to play out Vizier here. Spire Bluff Canal. Another Ledger Shredder. They do have the removal spell. Devastating. Okay. I played right into it. I figured that we didn't see any Lightning Axes in game 2. And I was like, well, if I'm able to play the Vizier and then untap into Lotus Field, I might be able to win on my turn if they just play a bunch of cantrips. That did not happen. We do get another chance at drawing a green mana into the Archdruid's Charm, though. Sylvan Scrying. Well, I guess we can just find Lotus Field that way. Play the Lotus Field. Pass the turn. They play land number 4. They have 3 cards in hand. They attack for 2. And it looks like they're going to just pass the turn. Bala Ged Recovery. I don't think that's a card I want to use right now. On the end step, they free the Fae. Spell Pierce, opt, consider. So they'll probably take the Spell Pierce. No, they choose consider. Interesting. And there's a consider that triggers the Shredders. Another Lightning Axe. Okay. And a land. They kept the card off of consider. Treasure Cruise, that's a pretty good one here. And they're going to leave 3 mana open, so they definitely have some sort of interaction. We'll take 3, we go to 14. On the end step, we will copy our Lotus Field. Let's find a Silence. Another stage. Okay, we can play that out. Let's attempt a Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Apparently it doesn't make you click no anymore if you don't have a creature. Okay, we'll make green, and then we'll do blue again. Pore over the pages. This will trigger the Ledger Shredders. 1 Arclight Phoenix to the graveyard. Okay. And they have negate. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what my best avenue to victory is here. I'm going to Bala Ged Recovery, Pore over the pages. And then we'll copy Lotus Field. Pass after that. I'm a little bit worried about dying here. Our opponent could just play a bunch of spells into Ledger Shredder triggers plus Arclight Phoenix. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but next turn it's definitely lethal. We're here. I believe I would go to 1 if they did everything without any additional damage. Okay, let's see it. There we go. Let's attempt a Silence. They have 4 cards in hand. They free the Fae in response. They find another negate. That's really unfortunate. And now they get to connive off of the Ledger Shredder triggers. Okay. Can't stop that. We will Pore over the pages. They get to trigger their Ledger Shredder again. So if they have a 3rd negate or a Disdainful Stroke, this game is over. Pore over the pages. It resolves, but we drew into duds. Again. Oh no. What to do, what to do. Discard the Lotus Field. So I have 3 mana. If our opponent has absolutely nothing, I could play Lier and then maybe win. But it's a big what if. We'll cast the... So I guess I could play around Spell Pierce with the Archdruid's Charm right now. If I play out Omniscience, I would actually just have a flat out win, but I'd lose to a Spell Pierce. We haven't seen a Spell Pierce anywhere yet. Because we could Omniscience Charm into, what is it called? Fae of Wishes, get the sideboard Emergent Ultimatum and win that way. Play the Thespian stage. They've used 1 Spell Pierce, correction. I forgot about the Exile pile. Okay, so I did a little bit of homework. Most lists are on 2 Spell Pierce, so we've seen 1. And then most lists are on 2 copies of Disdainful Stroke. Neither of our lines beats Disdainful Stroke. So I don't know if that's a card I should even care about here. Where I could play around Spell Pierce. That's assuming that they don't play on the Archdruid's Charm. The downside is if they have another Lightning Axe. Because Lightning Axe on Lier would be the end of the game. I think it's the Omniscience. Let's just lose to whatever they have here. And we lost either way to a Mystical Dispute, so unfortunate. We are, I guess I'm technically not dead. They have to be able to trigger their Ledger Shredders next turn. All right, we'll pass. They have 7 damage on board. I'm at 9, so they just have to be able to cast 2 instants or sorceries. Or play land, activate Hall of the Storm Giants. So I don't know what actually keeps me alive here, but let's make them have it. They play Consider. What's unfortunate about this is actually a very good matchup. I can't remember the last time I lost to Phoenix, but our opponent got us this round. And that will do. I guess they have to discard spells instead of lands, so let's make them do that. Oh, no, that does trigger it. My bad. Okay, well, they found Brazen Borrower. That's not a card I would have been playing around. And then they attack for exactly lethal, so they got us here. Okay, so we're starting this league off 0-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2 on the play. Let's bounce back. I mean, I don't like losing to Izzet Phoenix. I think that one of the reasons you play Lotus Field is to prey on those decks, but our opponent happened to get us. And here in match number 2, our opponent reveals a Karuga, and we open up a non-functional hand. Send it back. Okay, we will keep this one. Get rid of the Vizier. Lair of the Hydra past the turn. We see a Stomping Ground, so they're likely on one of the Discover decks. Vizier, pass the turn. They play an island. Besage, sweet. Let's see if we can cobble together a win on our turn. They play a Herd Migration. I will respond with this Charm. Grab a Lotus Field. We'll sacrifice the Lair of the Hydra and the Besage who endures. Mana number 3. Okay, we have the green light to go for a turn 4 victory. Let's do it. Dark Petition, not a bad one. We will start by copying Lotus Field. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And now what you can do is tap for blue, tap for black. Cycle the Vizier. Untap Lotus Field. Draw a card. And let's Emergent Ultimatum. I think we have to do Pore over the pages. And then we can do Hidden Strings and Lier. Maybe, I think in hindsight, I should have considered a slightly different avenue where I Dark Petition in the middle, because I could have created a different ultimatum pile if I had done so. I still think we're going to be fine here, but I could have made it less. I could have had a deterministic pile instead, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so we will Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And then before the Pore over the pages resolves, we'll make some mana. And now Pore. My Pores have not been very good in this league. We'll make some more blue mana. Cycle the Vizier. Untap Lotus Field. Take a draw. Otawara. And now we'll Dark Petition for Lier. Actually, I could get another Emergent Ultimatum. That's probably better. Okay, let's do that. Omniscience, Lier, and the other Dark Petition. Our opponent concedes, and we're off to game number 2. I think we probably want our copies of Silence here, but also Voyaging Satyr is very good. So, it's interesting. Does speed matter? Yes, but I don't think that this is a particularly good Arboreal Grazer matchup, so I'm good to board out some number of Grazers. And Silence is okay, but it requires your Lotus Field already being on the battlefield. So part of me is do I just want to leave in one Grazer over the Silence? Because if I have an untapped Lotus Field, I should be trying to win. So I don't think Silence is actually... Silence is for the blue decks. I don't think it's really for combo mirrors. So I think I'm going to try this instead. You could also... maybe I should board down on Impulse and try 3 Grazer. Yeah, let's try this. I just want to be fast. Ricky Bobby style. Let's go. Okay, this is indeed fast. Keep. Opponent with a very fast mulligan to 5. Basic Mountain, pass the turn. We'll play Forest. Arboreal Grazer. Let's put the Botanical Sanctum into play. I feel like this Otawara might have a little bit more value in her hand. They have a turn 2 land. Temple of Mystery, not a bad one. We'll play Impulse. Let's grab Sylvan Scrying. We have a lot of lands right now. Play Lotus Field. Pass the turn. So next turn we can play Sylvan Scrying, go get the stage, and then we'd have 1 green mana floating. So the play might to be Arboreal Grazer into the Temple of Mystery. They search out a basic. Another Otawara. Okay. Sylvan Scrying. The Mearshell Crab. I cannot afford to pay. We'll play a Boreal Grazer. We'll Temple of Mystery. Get that scry on. We do not want the third Grazer. That can go on the bottom. The question is, do I play out the Otawara or not? I think we can play out one. Our opponent looks like they put Kruger to hand and they're passing the turn, so they don't have land number 4. Dark Petition. Okay, so we'll Dark Petition here. I can't do anything with the 3 black mana. We could get Pore Over the Pages. We could get Hidden Strings. You could also just grab the stage, which is a choice. Lier would be another choice. I think it's probably just Pore Over the Pages. We'll pass. We need multiple things right now, and just Dark Petition for stage, you don't have a payoff. So I don't think that's the card we want. They found their white mana, so they're 1 mana away from victory. We find an Archdruid's Charm. Let's try Pore Over the Pages. It resolves, we'll untap. Discard the 3rd Grazer. And I think we can just pass the turn. We have Otawara to stop their combo, or if they don't combo, we can Archdruid's Charm into another Lotus Field. Fertile Footsteps, so they will have it on the following turn. We will Charm, go grab another Lotus Field. Time to party. Alright, so we're going to start by making 10 mana. And then we'll play Omniscience. And then I'm going to play Temple of Mystery, so that way I can scry before Pore Over the Pages. The way that my Pore Over the Pages have gone this league, I can't afford to risk it, because I've just been drawing straight doo-doo. And instead we draw the Lier that we scried into, and now it should be a pretty easy win. Cycle the Vizier, untap the Lotus Field, take a draw, it's a land, but we have the Lier. We will Dark Petition, go grab Emergent Ultimatum, play the Ultimatum for free, Dark Petition, Fae of Wishes, and our opponent concedes. So we got the W, we are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3 on the play. We will try this. We don't have a payoff spell, but having the land combo is pretty darn good. We'll play a Temple of Mystery, get that scry action on. We'll keep an Impulse. Pass the turn. Meticulous Archive, so likely Azorius control. Play Botanical Sanctum. And Impulse. I guess we'll take the Archdruid's Charm. Pass the turn. A Hallowed Fountain. Pore Over the Pages is a fine draw here. Play the Lotus Field, we'll pass. We don't need to play Sylvan Scrying into like a Censor or something silly. Field of Ruin. We will play the Thespian stage and pass. So now our opponent isn't really allowed to tap mana, or else I can copy Lotus Field. They have 7 in hand. We draw Basic Forest. So now we don't have a land to get if Field of Ruin were to happen. Alright, and another untapped land on their side. We draw an Impulse. We'll play Lair of the Hydra and pass. On their end step, we'll tap for 3 blue. Let's play an Impulse. I don't really want any of these. I guess we'll take a Beseiju. We'll untap, play the Beseiju. And I believe we now have so much mana that I can copy on the end step. And then they go to destroy. And then I'll Vizier, untap the Thespian stage, and copy again. And they have not played a spell yet, making all of their land drops. We'll attempt to copy Lotus Field. Okay, and now we will Vizier, floating 1 blue, untap Thespian stage. And now we can copy the stage, or we can use stage to copy Lotus Field again. We'll draw a card, and now the Field of Ruin is going to fizzle. They still have 7 cards. Not really sure what the play is here. I guess it's pretty free to shock, so we'll do that. We'll do blue, black. Let's attempt a Pore Over the Pages. 5 mana available. They let it resolve. We'll untap 2 Lotus Field. Discard Sylvan Scrying. And now that we have so many... Actually, hold on. I could Hidden Strings all 4 of their lands and then win. That's probably the move here. So now we'll cycle the Vizier. Untap Lotus Field. And the 4th Hidden Strings. Okay, so this is the secret mode on Hidden Strings. You can target your opponent's permanents. And now we won't untap them. Hidden Strings on these 2 now. And they play a Memory Deluge. Alright, game over. No, I'm not going to untap your lands. Get out of here. Alright, we're going to make a bunch of mana now. Yes, yes. We need more mana. Yes, yes. Tap for black. Dark Petition. We'll go grab the Omniscience. Play out the Omniscience. Bala Ged Recovery. We'll get back Dark Petition. If I could cast it the correct way. And now we'll cast Dark Petition. Go get the Emergent Ultimatum. Play the Ultimatum. Dark Petition. We'll do Fae of Wishes and Pore over the pages. Instead, they concede. Sweet. We definitely want silence. And we'll do the Dromoka. I am interested to see this league if I ever search out Dromoka with the Archdruid's Charm. If it does not happen, right now my gut's telling me to have 4 copies of silence. We lost that game number 2 in match 1 because we had a Dromoka in our hand. If it was a silence, I think we probably win that game and then as a result win the match. So we'll see how this match plays out with Dromoka. Sure, let's try this. Basic Island. Speaking of Dromoka, they play a path. They are representing Dovin's Veto or Censor. I think I'm going to just pass here. On our onset, they play Deduce. Sure. Okay, I've mentioned Censor twice so far. I wanted to make sure that I'm not wrong. And, well, it turns out I am. Most lists aren't even playing Censor anymore. So, my apologies. I shouldn't have been playing around it. Whoops. But they do still have a stockpile of Dovin's Vetoes. So, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't even supposed to play my land there. I'm too busy rambling. No More Lies. Yep. I mean, that would have worked last turn as well. They missed their land drop. Let's just play a Temple of Mystery here. Silence. That can go on the bottom. They draw a card with their clue. They did find land number 4. Ashiok. That's terrifying. My Sylvan Scrying no longer works. And they're not going to use it, not yet. Well, we find Lotus Field. They have 1 mana available. Let's play the Lotus Field. So I can go up to 5 mana, but 6 mana is the magic number for Dromoka. I'm going to cycle Vizier here. If they have a Mystical Dispute for the Pore over the pages, they've got it. We'll draw a card. Dark Petition doesn't really help me all that much. Pore over the pages. And it looks like they do have a Mystical Dispute, so it has been countered. They use the Ashiok. Okay. They have 6 cards in hand. We draw Omniscience. Not really what I wanted. I'm going to play Bala Ged Recovery, and we'll just pass the turn. Alright, no play from our opponent. We draw another Sylvan Scrying. We'll play Dromoka. Oh, they went to go counter it. Let's see what the play actually is here. 4 mana from Memory Deluge. They cycle a Shark Typhoon. Okay. So, even if they don't have the removal spell for the Dromoka, they now get 2 looks at it because of the Shark token. They attack. I don't think I'm supposed to block. So the only reason they would attack is if they have a Wrath. So there's nothing that punishes me here that I can think of for blocking. So we'll block. And they just immediately concede? Really? Sure. Okay. We're 2-1. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Alright, the 4th match, we're on the draw. I don't know how to feel about this hand. So we have Bala Ged Recovery on the first turn as a green mana source. We have turn 2 a Boreal Grazer if we draw another land, or we can Impulse. But we don't have 3 green for the Archdruid's Charm. I just don't know how to feel about this. I think my gut says to keep it, but it's not a very good hand. Like, it's a pretty low-level keep. Okay, they play a Dimir land on the first turn. Sylvan Scrying was a great draw. Pass the turn. Watery Grave, and a pass. We'll play Otawara, pass the turn. On their end step, I will Impulse. They deduce, I guess I will Impulse now. We'll take a Temple of Mystery. Narset. Okay. I guess they're a Days Undoing deck. It's not very good for me. We will Sylvan Scrying. Go find Lotus Field. Play the Lotus Field and pass. They minus Narset again, and they find the Days Undoing. Ah. Alright. We'll play Beseiju, pass the turn. It's going to be tough for us to win from here. Another Lotus Field will pass. I don't think I'm allowed to play the Otawara. One of the few ways I could come back this game is if our opponent tries to Days Undoing again, and then I bounce the Narset. They attack for 2. Ouch. Thespian Stage. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Another Shark Typhoon, this time for a 3/3. Field of Ruin. I guess I was supposed to main phase copy? I don't know. Temple of Mystery. I'm at 13, so I am running out of time. We'll keep Impulse. They play Deduce, sure. And now I'll fall to 8. I guess maybe I should just play the Lotus Field for my hand. Pass the turn. They Deduce again. They draw a card. Under City Sewers. Surveils away the 4th Deduce. And now we're going to go to 3 life. On the end step, we will Otawara the Narset. I mean, the only way we win this is if our opponent doesn't have main deck counter magic. Play an Impulse. We'll take a Vizier. And now we need to cycle into Pore over the pages and have a Resolve. That did not happen. So I could Bala Ged Recovery the Vizier, but I'm actually just dead. So we'll go to the next game. This is definitely a matchup where I am punished for not playing Mystical Dispute. Silence is so much better versus Azorius Control and Izzet Phoenix than Mystical Dispute. I understand that Ashiok has been on the rise, but like if your opponents don't have Ashiok, Silence is just so much better. But a little bit worse against our set Days Undoing as well. I think we just have to take out the Arboreal Grazers, and we'll bring in the Dramoka. On the play. Nope. Yeah, this seems fine. Bottom, the Archdruid's Charm. Breeding Pool, pass the turn. Under City Sewers, they keep the card on top. Sylvan Scrying. I guess I'll go get another Thespian Stage. Hall of Storm Giants. Jace Vryn's Prodigy, okay. We will play Impulse. Take the Emergent Ultimatum. Play Lotus Field. Pass the turn. Another copy of Under City Sewers. Another stage. That's not a bad draw. We're going to immediately copy Lotus Field this time. That might have been a downfall of me in game number 1. I don't know if we were ever actually going to come back and win that. Probably not. But copying our Lotus Field would have helped. Okay. They're just leaving all their mana open. I'm going to try to draw out a counterspell here with this Fae of Wishes. It resolves. Wow. Interesting. I guess we grab the Chandra. We'll copy Lotus Field and pass. They draw off the clue and discard a land. Another copy of Under City Sewer. So now their Jace can flip. Oh no, they left the card on top. They could have made it so Jace flips immediately, but they just didn't. And they have 7 cards in hand. What to do, what to do. We'll make some mana here, cast Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And now we'll make a little bit more mana. We'll attempt a Pore over the page. Oop. I didn't... I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I meant to tap another Lotus Field. I didn't. Discard this Botanical Sanctum. We'll play another stage. We'll make some more mana. Let's Hidden Strings again. And we'll attempt a Chandra Hope's Beacon. So we have 9 mana here. I guess if this is the play, I should use the colorless from the Thespian stage. They've changed the equation. Okay. Let's try an Emergent Ultimatum. We can pay for a Mystical Dispute here. They activate Jace. I guess maybe I was supposed to leave the land untapped. It somehow resolves. Wow. Alright, so they have 2 open mana. We'll do a standard pile here, I guess. I was thinking about if I could afford to silence them, like instead of get Omniscience, but I don't think I can. And they concede. So we're off to game number 3. I need to play better. Also, I can't but wonder if Voyaging Satyr is good if their plan is Narset. Maybe that's just the wrong approach, though. Yeah, I don't think I want to take out Impulse versus the Narset deck. Ignore me. We can just submit this. I guess this is a function of hand. We'll keep. We'll play the Bala Ged Sanctuary, pass the turn. Basic Swamp, and they pass. Okay. Our draws have been a little bit clunky so far. I was hoping for some more mana. Field of Ruin. And having the basic here punishes me. I don't have another basic. Ugh. Now I can't play my Lotus Field. Oh, come on, deck. We have to pass. Probably get rid of this Dark Petition. Thoughtseize. Okay. They take the Dragonlord Dromoka. We still can't do anything. We have to pass the turn. They cling to dust. Go blank. Well, I don't need 2 copies of Archdruid's Charm. I guess we'll get rid of Pore over the pages. Still no land. Pass. Narset, sure. Juari Disruption. And then they play it as a land. We have found land number 2. I'm afraid it's too late, though. Under City Sewers. They put the card on top. Days Undoing. Yeah, we're probably out of this now. Lotus Field. Pass. They find Deduce off the Narset. Discards Mystical Dispute. Sign of Confidence. We'll cast the Sylvan Scrying. It is countered. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to come back from this. Alright, they have the lock. I'm good to concede. Bummer. So now we're 2-2 with 1 match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Alright, the final match, we're on the draw, and our opponent has taken a mulligan. I'm going to try this. I can't actually cast the Archdruid's Charm at the moment, but I still think that it's a keep. Alright, it looks like we get a chance at Revenge versus Izzet Phoenix. Lotus Field, a tremendous draw here. I am now wondering if I should be on the split that everyone else is on. If you view our sideboard, we have 3 copies of Silence and then the Dromoka. A lot of people play 2 Mystical Dispute, 1 Silence, because with Silence you can get it off of Emergent Ultimatum and then protect your Lier. So that is something I could be doing. And I think after seeing all the Ashioks and Narsets this league, that maybe I just need to accept that Mystical Dispute isn't as good versus Izzet Phoenix, but keeps me in the game versus the control decks instead. Ledger Shredder. No 3rd land. We'll play the Lotus Field. And I think in hindsight, I maybe missed an opportunity here. I didn't know my opponent was going to tap out. But if I had played the Otawara on the 2nd turn, we could have viziered to untap the Lotus Field and then played the Archdruid's Charm. They free the Fae. They do mill over an Arclight Phoenix. And then they sleight of hand. They get to Connive. Discards another Phoenix. So next turn, they're going to be bringing the pain. They attack. Sure. Hidden Strings. I think we should just Archdruid's Charm for the Thespian stage. Play Bala Ged Recovery. Pass the turn. And now if they want to bring back Phoenix, I'm going to win the game. A 2nd copy of Ledger Shredder. Okay, things are looking good for me. They swing for 2. We'll start by copying the Lotus Field. Hidden Strings. We'll play Pore over the pages. They can connive 3 times. Pore over the pages resolves. That was actually a good one for once. Let's draw some more cards. That one was not so great. We'll play a 3rd Pore over the pages. Discard Sylvan Scrying. And now we have found Emergent Ultimatum. We'll play it. Omniscience, Lier, and Dark Petition. Game over. They gave me Omniscience Lier. Good deal. We will Fae of Wishes. Yes. We don't actually have everything we need to win quite yet, so I guess I'll grab the Chandra anyway. Cycle Vizier. They want to see the win. We can win when we're ready. Another Lotus Field. That actually helps me, believe it or not, here, because we need to get the Bala Ged Recovery that's in play in our graveyard. And now we'll play Lotus Field. Sacrifice those two. We'll play Impulse for free. Get Dark Petition. Dark Petition. And now we will grab the last copy of Bala Ged Recovery, and now we're ready to win the game. So we'll play Chandra. Bala Ged Recovery, we'll grab Bala Ged Recovery twice. And Chandra is going to copy that. And now we'll deal our opponent 5 damage. And now we'll get the Chandra back. We have a loop here where we can deal infinite damage with Chandra. So now I'm going to Bala Ged Recovery again just to grab the other 2. So you've seen the loop once. I'll do it once more. And then, well, I guess I can't. The opponent concedes. Sure. Silence. And the Dramoka. Goodbye, Grazer. Kind of funny, I added in a 4th Leyline of the Sanctity due to all the black decks in the format. And we faced Dimir Control, but it's not really the matchup for Leyline of Sanctity. So that was a change that did not pan out in this league, but I did learn something. Like, I learned that why I need Mystical Dispute. So despite loving the 3 Silence versus Izzet Phoenix, maybe I'm just priced into playing Mystical Dispute due to all of the Ashioks and Narsets and Pioneer at the moment. Keep Botanical Sanctum, and we'll pass. Ledger Shredder. We'll play the land and Sylvan Scrying. We'll grab another Otawara. Pass the turn. They play an Optus, their first spell for the turn. Ledger Shredder is spell number 2. They discard Ashiok. Confidence. Okay. We draw an Archdruid's Charm. I'm going to play Impulse because I'm going to sacrifice those lands anyway. We'll take the Vizier. Theoretically, we're set up for a turn 4 win if our opponent taps out. They play Consider. Treasure Cruise goes to the graveyard now. And a second copy of Ashiok. Okay, let's see if we can beat the onboard Ashiok. What did you exile? They milled themselves and exiled my graveyard. Okay. We draw another Thespian Stage. Doesn't really help me here. Cycle Vizier. We'll untap Lotus Field. Another Vizier. Not bad. Copy. Now we'll Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And now we will Pore over the pages. The Ledger Shredder will connive. Pore over the pages. We'll discard the spare Lotus Field. And now I'm going to cycle the Vizier. This brings me up to 8 mana. So I'll be able to Bala Ged Recovery back the Pore over the pages. Beseiju doesn't really help here. Let's Bala Ged Recovery back the Pore. And now we'll draw 3 more. Okay, so we can discard... What do we want to discard here? I think we actually have a win. Maybe the Stage? Okay, so we spend 4 mana, we bounce the Ashiok. I Hidden Strings up to 6 mana. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Lier win here. We will bounce the Ashiok. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. And now we do blue, black. First you Dark Petition for another Hidden Strings. That's step 1. Which is Hidden Strings 3 of 4. Okay, and then you might be thinking, why not Archdruid's Charm instead of the Dark Petition? You could, but it's more mana. Ooh, actually, hold on. It looks like I'm 1 mana short of the win. Dark Petition brings me up to 6 mana. I need 7. Bummer. Alright, so we're going to Dark Petition here, and I'll go get another Pore over the pages. Come on, deck, pretty please. Bala Ged Recovery and Vizier. Let's cycle Vizier. We're pretty close to a win if we can just hit an Emergent Ultimatum or another, I guess the final Hidden Strings. We draw Stage. So we have 8 mana. Bala Ged Recovery could bring us up to 9. That's still not enough to win with Archdruid's Charm. So I'm supposed to Bala Ged Recovery back the Pore over the pages. And now we'll Pore. And we bricked. That's defeating. What to do? Well, Archdruid's Charm. And I think we just have to go get Lier. And then we'll pass. Alright, so one of the few ways we can win this is if they try to counterspell the silence in their upkeep, and then we play the second one. Otherwise, we need the Lier to live, or resolve on my turn. They're going to let the silence resolve. So that's unfortunate. Because now I'm in a spot where I can't really silence into a Lier win. I would need to draw the final hidden strings for that to work. They have 5 in hand. We draw another Sylvan Scrying. Okay, we will pass. We will attempt another silence. That resolved, we will now copy the Lotus Field. The attack will go to 9. And we drew another land. Alright, so I think we just have to play the Lier, and whatever happens, happens. It resolved. Interesting. Hidden Strings. Ledger Shredder. They discarded a Phoenix. I could have responded to... So what happened is I auto-yielded to the Shredder trigger. Theoretically, I could have silenced in response, but I didn't. Because I was auto-yielded. They have 4 cards in hand. We will Archdruid's Charm in response. I do not have another Otawara. That's awkward. How big is this Ledger Shredder? A 4/6? I think it's supposed to be Fae of Wishes. And now they have Spell Pierce. Okay, I'm dead if they can bring back their Arclight Phoenix next turn. Ashiok is back. I guess I'm actually most likely dead to that too. Yeah, I'm good to just go to the next game. Alright, game 3. We will resubmit. I don't know how I feel about this one. I think you're supposed to mulligan this. Like, this just feels like a trap to me. Send it back. Much better. Okay. Keep will bottom the second copy of Hidden Strings. Temple of Mystery. Viseju can go on the bottom. Pass. They play Steam Vents into Sleight of Hand. We draw an Impulse. Let's play it. We'll take the Pore over the pages. Pass the turn. Hall of Storm Giants. Into the Ledger Shredder. Another Pore. Okay, so if our opponent taps out for Ashiok, we could try to win. Or if they just tap out for an Arclight Phoenix. Land number 3. And here's the Ashiok. There she is. The Dream Renderer herself. Okay, let's see if we're allowed to party this time. Silence not really necessary here. Start off by cycling Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Untap the Lotus Field. We'll draw. Another Pore. I like that. We'll copy Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. Pore over the pages. Auto yield to their ability again. I didn't learn my lesson last game, so here we go. Emergent Ultimatum doesn't really help me at the moment because I can't search my deck. We'll discard a spare land. Pore over the pages again. Hidden Strings plus some lands. We'll try a third Pore over the pages. Let's go. Come on. Couple Viziers and a Silence. Discard the Temple of Mystery. Cycle Vizier. We'll draw off the Vizier. Lier. Okay. Well, I think we just beat the Ashiok. Untap the Lotus Field. Draw off the Vizier. Dark Petition. Don't want to cast that. Still can't search my library. Omniscience. We're 1 mana short of Omniscience, unfortunately. Well, actually, I have this Hidden Strings. Ignore me. Why would you ever listen to me? So Fae of Wishes is on the bottom of our deck, and we're not allowed to search our deck. We need to remember that. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. So we now have 13 mana. We'll play Omniscience. And Lier. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, and yes. We'll Pore over the pages. And there's an Otawara. That's going to end it. Only costs 3 because we have Lier on the table. Our opponent paused for a while on that Ashiok, and then it finally resolved. We will Dark Petition. We'll go grab a Bala Ged Recovery. We need those to win. We'll Archdruid's Charm. We'll go grab our Fae of Wishes. We'll Emergent Ultimatum. We'll do Bala Ged Recovery, Dark Petition, and a Pore over the pages. They put Bala Ged Recovery on the bottom. That's fine. We can just go grab it with Dark Petition. Go grab Bala Ged Recovery, and then we just need to find the third Bala Ged Recovery. It finally resolves. We'll untap. Discard Sylvan Scrying. I guess I can Dark Petition for the other Bala Ged Recovery out of the graveyard. We'll go grab the final Bala Ged Recovery. We'll cast Silence because I can. We will, granted, you go grab our Chandra. Play the Chandra. And I'm just looking to win this as fast as possible at this point. I'm not even going to bother using the Chandra on the first iteration. And actually, I just have a bunch of Bala Geds. I bet I don't even need to loop. I can just use Chandra multiple times. I don't think I've actually done it this way before. Kind of interesting. We'll go to 8. We'll get back the Chandra. Oh, I do have to cast it. That's unfortunate. I clearly need another Bala Ged Recovery in my deck. Technically, I guess that you could Otawara your own Chandra, and then you could do it that way. But I think I've used both my Otawaras. Sweet. We got the 3-1. Not that impressive of a record, but it was a weird league. And I didn't play my best, if I'm being honest, but I did learn a lot. Like, I learned that maybe we don't want 3 copies of Silence. Maybe you just need the Mystical Disputes. A thought that I had throughout this league was, well, you need 1 Silence because you can use it with your Emergent Ultimatum pile. So what you'll do, once you have enough mana, is you'll go Emergent Ultimatum for Silence, Omniscience, Lier, and then you stack it so that they either have to give you Omniscience plus Lier, or they give you Silence plus one of the cards that kills them. So that is why you need 1 Silence in the deck, and it saves you from something like, I think it's called Get Lost, and like tons of other things. So having 1 Silence in your deck goes a long way. And then you probably need the Dramoka because of your Archdruid's Charm. So now you have 2 spells that you can board with the Arboreal Grazer, and they should just be Mystical Disputes most likely. And you might be saying, well, why don't you just like have more Mystical Disputes and board something else out? I think every card in our main deck is good in those blue matchups. Like, what else are you trying to take out? So I think it just has to be 2 Mystical Disputes, and those are probably my only changes. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'd be interested in your feedback. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a terrific day, and as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.